All right, so now we're gonna get started in more nitty gritties here of the coding. It should be relatively simple, but we're gonna do the best that we can. So one of the things I need to do is that I'm gonna say, okay, if there's two cards, what I need to do is I need to compare whether the cards are the same. Okay, which makes kind of sense. So basically, I need to compare like that the current card and the previous card have the same name. And if they do, that's a match, right? Which seems pretty straightforward. So I'm going to need variables to hold that, okay? So I'm going to have a public variable, and we're going to call it previous card, and it will be the type string. And actually, it's a capital S because technically it's an array, which is technically a function. Okay, and then we're going to do also a public variable, and we're going to say current. Oops, don't capitalize. Current card name. And that will also be a string. Okay. So we're going to say, okay, if there's two cards, I want to do such and such actions. I'm going to get rid of this debug. And we're going to say, okay, inside of that, I'm going to say if the card, which remember is the object that's currently clicked on, if the card.name, which is basically, let me set this first, name is equal to previous card. Okay, so card.name. So one of the things that happens is dot notation. So basically inside of every object here, right? So I have like a card, right? So right here I have card 7. It has these different things in here, okay? So you can basically have two things. It can have attributes, or it could have a function or functions. But if it's inside of an object, they're called methods. But basically, same thing I'm having here. Like I'm making it, like we have this card controller. I made this script, and the script has these functions that you can call, which in this case would be methods. So the idea is that I'm saying, okay, of the card, and there's other attributes, like there's position, like position.x. And I can say, okay, in card, what's the position of x? And I could say it's this. But in this case, I'm saying the card, what's the name of the card? And in this case, it's 07. It could be anything. Now, what I'm going to say is, okay, the card, the name of it, is it the same as the name of the previous card that was just clicked? That's basically what we're saying. Is it equal to that? And that's really what I want to know, okay? Now, I haven't really determined what either one of, well, this one I know what it is because I got it from here because it sent that to it. Previous card obviously would have to be determined from a previous time that I clicked on. So obviously if it wasn't any cards previously, it's going to be false. So, but it would have to be at least two cards clicked on before it would even get to this point anyhow. So it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so if it's equal to that, what I want to do is basically have it be a match, right? So if card is equal to previous card, that would be pretty much it. So basically, I don't need to turn them on. We're going to say if it's that, it's that. And I am just going to go ahead and open this up. And we'll leave it like that right now, okay? Now we're going to say else, if that's not the case, else, and we don't need to have any arguments because it's either that or it's something else, right? In this case, we're just going to say nothing for now. All right. So, some other options here. So we have that, and I have this. If that's equal to this, okay. So if the cards are equal to 1, I could say if I've only flipped one card, what I need to do is I need to make my previous card, I want to assign that the value of the current card, okay? Current card name. Because basically what that's going to allow me to do is it's going to say, okay, if I only have one card selected, obviously there's nothing to compare, so I'm just going to take that and make it the previous card. So that way when I go up here and I have two cards selected, the previous card is going to be what the current card was from the first time, okay? So basically I click on a card. If it's the first time I click on it, I'm going to say, okay, go ahead and make that the previous card, because one card isn't enough to compare anyway. So if I only have one card selected, it makes it the previous card. Then I go through and I select a second card. Well, it's going to go through. It's going to go down here. Oh, there's two cards selected. And then say, okay, compare the current card that I have selected, which is card.name, with the previous card, which I had gotten from the first time I clicked. So that's what that's going to do. Good. The other thing I'm going to do with this is just to make this a little bit easier too, because I'm going to need to select it in order to set active. I'm going to also make, oops, I didn't capitalize this. Hang on a second, string. Go right here, come on. There we go. We're going to make a public variable. Why does that look? Oh, because I put a capital in there. Public variable. And we're going to make it previous. I keep capitalizing things. Previous card object. And we're going to make it a game object. So that way, when I need to actually turn it on and off, I have the object itself, not just the name of the object. It's very important to realize that, like, you have to have it in the right thing that you're selecting. It's not just like this, like, is the name of it, but that's not the actual object. That's just saying this specific component, this specific attribute of it. It's not the object itself. This is one component of the object. So I'm going to put that up there. Also inside of here, I'm just going to go ahead and also make that previous card object. We're going to set that equal to the card. So basically, I'm just setting it up so that I have the card, the first card I click on before I click on my second card. Then I'm setting it up that it is that I have both the object and I also have the name. I have the name to compare it to, and I also have the object so that I can turn it on and off. That's basically what this is doing. I'm loading them into these two variables, this one and this one, so that I have control over them later on. Okay? Which is good. All right. So that's good. That's good. So that sets it up there. So now I can actually do this thing, which says I'm comparing. So if that is equal to that, obviously I'm going to say it's success, right? So I can do that debug.log success. Hang on. Okay, so yeah, we got that. The two things there. Card name, blah blah blah. So basically, if it is the same thing, it's just gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna say, okay, it's open. But if it's not the same, I need to do this. I'm gonna want it to basically flip both cards over. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what's gonna happen, so that you understand, I'm gonna put a debug.log in here, just so that we know that we have it, that it's working. Debug.log, and I'm just gonna say, match. Match. All right, and then okay, and we're gonna say if it doesn't match, if the two cards are not the same, I'm gonna want it to basically flip the cards back over. So I'm gonna do card dot. It's doing that thing again. All right, card. We'll click off, click back on. Dot set active, and we're gonna set it to true. I'm gonna turn that card back on, the back facing card. Okay. And I'm also going to do the other one, which is the previous card. And I'm going to also, dot set active. So the set active here, this is a function. This is something I can do. I'm clicking on here. I can turn it on and off. That's a a method in this case. So it's one of the things that can happen. So I'm calling that method and I'm assigning it the value of true. Okay, that's what I'm sending it. That's the parameter. All right. Oops, back over here, and I'm going to Control S to copy. I'm sure I'm going to get some weird error. Okay, I got two. So best overload method, blah, blah, blah. It's not compatible with argument list. So it says 2339. So move over here, and 2339. So it says the best overload for the method. It's not compatible with the argument list string. Should be a problem. I don't see why. Set active true. Oh, because I made them strings. Sorry, these aren't supposed to be strings. I don't know why I did that. That was dumb of me. Oops. Okay. All right, let's go back over here. And set action is not a member of string. I don't know why I wrote set action. That should have been set active. Okay. Let's try that again. We'll look down here. And it's not a member of string. Okay, so previous card. So it's not previous card because that's the string. That's the name. I need previous card object. I need the object. That's the thing I can set active. That's why I have two of these. So I put the wrong one in there, which is... And good. All right, so now I'll hit play. And we're going to keep an eye on this here. So I'm going to click and click, click and click. I don't know. So this one and this one, oh, I'm not getting the matches. They're not really working. But you see when I hit one and went the other one, it doesn't show me the second one. Because the problem is that it's instantaneously. See, this should, it's instantaneously automatically flipping them over. Okay, so, which is obviously not something I want. So as soon as I click on the one, it doesn't give me a chance to even see it. And then it flips it over. So I made another mistake too, just like I had previous card object. It's supposed to be so I have previous card up here, and then I have previous card here. But let me see. So I did previous card is equal to current card name. So previous card object card. So I haven't actually made like current card name is that doesn't really help me at all. So what I actually got to do is take card.name would actually give me a better card. Actually, so I wrote current card name here, but I actually never set it up here. So after I do my num cards, I'm just going to go ahead and do current card name is equal to card dot. I love that. Card. Click off, back on. Dot name. And that way this will actually work, because the problem is that it's not being able to compare my previous card because the previous card doesn't have the current card name. So now if I play this, it should, let me see. Let's see. I don't, okay, so that's the 2, 4, 4, okay. 4 and 4. There we go. So now you can see they start to match up. There you go. So now when I have two of the likes, they match up and it says match, which is good. But you can see, like, I don't really see the previous card, right? Because there's no time between. So that's something we have to fix as well. Okay. Quick overview. So basically we have this function, says flip card. What I do is I take card, I turn it off. I'm actually going to go ahead and pause this and we'll continue on the next thing.